Welcome to this edition of Meet the Mustangs. Joining us today, WNMU assistant softball coach and former All-World Mustang softball player, Angela Slaugh. Welcome to Meet the Mustangs.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
You're starting your fourth year as an assistant coach.
Yes.
Are you getting comfortable in that role now?
I am. It's a lot better because I think the girls are starting to respect me more, especially because I'm getting a little more of an age gap between them.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the biggest change going from a player to a coach?
As a player, you just lead by example, whereas as a coach, you have to do more speaking and trying to teach them based on words.
And it's difficult, isn't it?
It is.
Were you surprised how difficult it was?
Yeah, it was a much more difficult concept, transition than I expected it to be.
Now, you came back to Western New Mexico after going to Europe to play.
Mm-hmm.
How exciting was that to play softball in Europe?
Oh, it was great. The experience is just amazing. The people that I got to meet and all of the travels I went to. I lived in the Czech Republic, and then I also got to go to Barcelona, Spain.
What was the biggest adjustment about living in Europe? Was there something that surprised you?
The language barrier was very difficult for me. You know, you're surrounded by thousands of people, and you're almost lonely because you can't talk to any of them.
What was the biggest memory, either at Western or in Europe as a player, that you've got?
Definitely the World Series. I mean, there's nothing that compares to that. I mean, that's the goal that you try to get to every chance you get, and that's definitely my best memory.
Now, you definitely had a great career at Western, Western New Mexico. How many no-hitters did you throw?
I'm not sure. Probably 3 or 4.
No, that wasn't the answer we rehearsed.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. How do you see this team stacking up? You just had a couple of exhibition games this past weekend against some pretty good competition.
It's hard to say yet. The biggest thing is we have 13 new players, and so the key is going to get them to play all together. And so as of right now, it's really hard to judge. I think we made a lot of adjustments from from Friday to Saturday to Sunday. I think we made a lot of adjustments, and hopefully they continue to make those adjustments. Communication is the biggest thing.
One of the things that I think surprises me is how much pitching can dominate in softball as compared to maybe baseball.
Right.
Who's going to be our dominant pitcher now?
Oh, I think it's really hard to say. The person that I had in mind struggled a little bit this weekend. I think consistency is going to be the biggest question. I think we're going to pitch as a staff again this year rather than as a dominant one at this point.
Looking at the conference, who's our biggest competition?
Oh, I'm not sure.
There's still a lot of teams that can
There
step
is.
up.
Well, and everything changes from year to year. I know Metro was really good last year, but they have a new coach and, new team, new players. So it's hard to say. I think any of them have the possibility.
Well, I know that Scott Woodard, the head coach, is glad to have you back. You've provided a lot of stability. The one last thing I want to comment on is, of course, I've seen you guys out early in the morning running, working all those things that you have to do off the field. It seems like the girls' attitude towards doing those things, getting up at 6 in the morning and running, is pretty good. Am I reading that right?
For the most part, I mean, I think, it's always a struggle because that's never easy, and it teaches discipline and all of that, and I think it's really important. But I mean, I think sometimes they dread it the night before, but once you get up and you get going, I think it becomes easier. Once you get yourself out of bed, it's easier.
And then it's done with by daylight. So.
Yeah, you've accomplished something before daylight even comes. So
well, we wish you the best of the luck in the upcoming season and hope you guys succeed and get a trip back to the World Series.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Meet the Mustangs.
Thank you.